Timothée Chalamet. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I was just saying, this is our 1 year anniversary.
This is our 1 year anniversary, although I feel like I've known you longer.
Well, we're old souls.
So
You and I go way back.
we're missing an army, we're missing a hammer.
We're gonna make do.
Okay.
Congratulations, man, on the film.
Thank you.
Beautiful Boy is the film. It's moving audiences like no other film. It's powerful stuff.
Thank you.
Let's talk first. I'm curious. Let's take the temperature a year later since we first met. How your life has changed, because you've been through a lot. You went through the whole crazy ride, the award circuit. So what's changed? What hasn't changed? Like, is the cell phone number, has that changed?
That's a good question. Yes. No, but you know, I guess things have changed. The best thing I could have done for myself was work on a movie right after all of it, and that was really the healthiest thing to do. I worked on an adaptation of Henry V that Shakespeare wrote, and both literally and metaphorically, like, got back in the mud, and that was a really smart thing to do. And I got to work with Joel Edgerton and Robert Pattinson and Sean Harris and a lot of actors I really admire. But besides that, I don't know. I often say I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's true. But like, really, I just feel full of gratitude. And last year was an amazing thing to be here, and I was here with 3 films last year. And it was a lot of fun talking to you and being there with the Army, but it was all very new, and I didn't quite know how to do it, and every spot was new, and every person I was talking to was new. And then just a year later now, I can kind of not relax because I'm still a mess, but but like, I don't know, I feel like I know you in some way. So
it's
going for a little high five there. Sorry, raise my hand awkwardly. Sorry,
and I left you hanging.
Master of awkwardness. Okay.
That's my title.
Yes.
Wait,
Fusion of awkwardness.
The co-captains of awkwardness. It's curious though, like, the whole fame thing is insane, and like, you had to deal with like an unusual amount of it in a different way. And it's funny, like you mentioned, working with Pattinson, because like I've experienced watching this with people like him, with your buddy Ansel. Like, there's a certain kind of fame that you've dealt with in the last year. Has anyone given you kind of good advice, or is that something that you can take advice about?
I don't know. I feel like, again, I feel full of gratitude for it all. We did the premiere of our film last night, and it was pretty crazy. And if anything, I just feel like suspicious of how much I enjoy of it. And
it's good. You don't want to be too jaded 1 year into the
career. I feel you know, I've like just working with Steve Carell on something, or that's the first thrill, is meeting artists and people on the music side, on the film side that I'm fans of, and like getting to work with them. That's crazy. And I think there's a certain like guilt or self-loathing that comes with being in projects that you yourself as an artist don't find the merit in or the worth, and then I guess maybe people will stop you in the street and you feel like self-loathing about it or something. But I don't have that, because I'm really proud of what I've worked on, and like Call Me by Your Name and Lady Bird, those were 2 movies that were made on a very small budget, and I don't know, I got into acting, and I did a play in New York called Prodigal Son 3-4 years ago, and it's beautifully written. It deals with like the ascent into adulthood of a young person who like thinks intellectually, and I thought we did a good job, and nobody my age really came to see it, understandably too, because the tickets were not really affordable for young people, and like, I just kind of was starting to get this impression of like, wait a second, is acting like, am I getting into opera here, like ballet or something? Am I foraying into a medium of art that is like wearing its welcome, or do young people not like movies as much as I do, or acting, or whatever? And what was amazing last year was I felt like, no, like, audiences are yearning and are thirsty for films that feel like urgent and relevant, and like
they can emotionally connect with.
Yeah, they can connect with, and not the same, not literally some of the same stories that we see done again and again and again. And to that point, I wanted to say one more thing, that just I mean, I think of like Greta Gerwig or the Safdie brothers or Luca, or you know, people that are making movies that are told in new ways with like, and with patterns of storytelling that are not patterns. Right. You don't sit down and go, okay, these tropes lead me to believe it's going here. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
Boring watching this.
I'm curious, because like this film, obviously deals with addiction, and in a way that very few films I've ever seen have, in a seemingly very realistic way. And one of our longer conversations nearly a year ago was sort of about kind of, to reduce it to a simplified way, like kind of staying on the straight and narrow and not like wasting your opportunity that you've been given. And I'm curious, like, did that because you had already shot this film, and did some of that mindset come out of working on a film like this and being in the mindset of someone that was close to losing it all? And
I think maybe in the opposite, like, kind of in that line of thinking, but more if I took anything from playing someone like Nic Sheff or trying to interpret it in the best way possible, it's like that immediacy of moment to moment thinking, and it's something that like rubs off very clearly with like Nick and David when you hang out with them, is a tremendous gratitude for life and a respect for life. And I feel like that's what the movie's about in some ways too, is like I don't know, like respect life. Like no, not literally, but yeah, I feel, and to that point too. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place, but you know that my podcast, your podcast, I was all over the place with you. But like, like, yeah, there was an impression shooting this movie. I mean, I shot a movie called Hot Summer Nights 3-4 years ago too, and like, I remember thinking I might not ever get an opportunity to be a lead of a movie again, and it was like every scene I knew exactly what I was trying to do, and I feel that urgency now. Like, you know, I don't know if literally or like economically you can point to the numbers, but like the film industry, I like shrinking's not even the right word. It's just like the roadmaps, the studio system, all that. It's not there anymore. Like Beautiful Boy's an Amazon film. The first thing I worked on after last year was a Netflix film. So, but I think it's kind of great. And there's like the return of like this mid-budget movie now, like. And
Netflix has brought back the rom-com exists again. Like you can find it on
in an awesome way. And where like I think in the 80s and 90s, I mean I'm not my filmography isn't as good as a lot of people's, but like my understanding is like in the 90s there was like a great like Linklater, there was like the whole great there's a lot of great independent film, and obviously through the 2000s, but then like I think of like the late 2000s there was like kind of this transition. That's where I'm not envious of being 22 at the time, and I'm grateful to be at this age now. It was like, this is such an interesting time in film and in like TV and all that. So
I'm curious. I haven't seen Lucas's new film, Ben is Back yet. But did you? I mean, you guys obviously go back to Lady Bird, your buddies. Did you discuss the fact that you were tackling roles that were tackling some of the same issues?
Absolutely. And Ben is Back has Gene Black, who's the makeup artist on Beautiful Boy. So legendary makeup artist, like really extraordinary. And so, I don't know, down to the physical symptoms, they might be very similar. I haven't seen Ben is Back yet, but I know Lucas, like, he feels a lot of the very, like, similar about a lot of the things I'm talking about. I know we both feel, like, really grateful that, like, especially Lady Bird, like, that like, resonated with people in such a way. It was really, like, I got to see a college screening of Lady Bird, like, on a college campus, and it was just so, like, I don't know, it was like people laughing at things that our parents maybe wouldn't get, you know, and there's something thrilling about that. And like, so yeah.
What's Greta's script for Little Women?
It's amazing.
This is present day. I've heard that. Is it set in present day Sacramento?
Oh God, how much am I allowed to talk about this?
Okay,
like, I don't know, not really.
Okay, that's fine.
But like,
generally, just curious, like your reaction to it. Like, does it feel like the same writer of Lady Bird? Is it?
Well, certainly, like that's what I said to Greta. Like, I would do like, I made a joke to her like literally I'll like just point me in the role, like I'll just wherever.
Anything,
and no, it's a really extraordinary script. And I don't know, I'm really looking. You know, I just played Henry V in The King, and that was just like that was one of the most surreal things. I mean, I'm so excited for people to see that because. And that's what really excited me about doing it. I just had this impression, like, people were going to be like, wait, he did what? After, like, and God, I have some gratitude again. Like, I don't know how many people have the experience of, like, walking down. It wasn't literally Westminster Abbey, but we shot in an amazing church in Lincoln in England. And, you know, you're walking down a procession and people are, like, chanting I was like, I'm this American kid from New York. Like I was on the 2 train a
feel
month
right,
ago.
or
Like,
maybe it does feel right.
Yeah, like yeah, it feels too right. Yeah. No, so shoot, we were talking
That's okay. I was trying to dig for Little Women Dirt, and it's too early. But here's another film that I mentioned when you sat down. That there's nothing I'm more excited about than you potentially working with Denis Villeneuve on an adaptation of Dune.
Yeah.
What can you say about it? Because again, if you're gonna do something on that scale, I feel like this is the way to do it.
I feel like we've talked about that.
Yeah,
We talked about
did.
The Dark Knight a lot in
Yeah.
your office in New York, and it's really interesting because I was like, I guess I was 12, I was in 8th grade. I was going into 8th grade when The Dark Knight came out, and I went to see it in Times Square, AMC Empire 25, 7:30 with my grandma and my mom, and I was like, this is amazing. What is, who is Heath Ledger? How, this is like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then you go to drama school, and then like people like whip out like French New Wave movies as their favorite movies, and you're like, oh, I need to like figure out what my pretentious movies are. So then you like watch Paul Thomas Anderson movies. No, I'm kidding. And like love PTA, I want to work with him. But then you watch movies like Punch Drunk Love or whatever. For me, it was like James White or The Master, and I thought, okay, this is really exciting. Now I want to work on things like that. And these like small character behavior-based dramas. And that's what I would hope like Call Me By Your Name was, and Lady Bird, and Beautiful Boy. They were like very intimate studies. But then like the dream is like, it's like the theater to be rocking, you know? And I mean literally, not not like people like jamming out. And and it's Denis Villeneuve. He like, I saw him and Christopher Nolan at a like whatever party in Cannes or something, and I was just like, those are the
guys that know how to work on that scale.
And
still
that's
bring the art
exactly
to
it. It's like and I ironically like Lady Bird and Call Me By Your Name, a lot of people saw those movies, but like both of those, Denis and Chris, those are like, so I'm just so excited, and also to work on something of that scale that I'm not afraid of the green screenisms of it, and of it all. I don't know how he's wanting to do it anyway, so I don't know if that's going to be a component.
Right.
But I'm just talking like the big budget nature of it. Like I can imagine on something else, particularly for these long shooting periods, you can get there on a certain day and be like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? Or like like Michael Keaton and Birdman or something like that. Like that experience.
Yeah.
But what's amazing with Denis, his movies are like so rapidly intelligent, and meeting with him at Cannes, I felt like I felt I was with someone like that was unequivocally smarter than me in every way, like, which is an awesome.
You want to
like,
associate with
with him, and then lastly in that regard, like to work on something that's of that scale, but Mr. Herbert's book is not only regarded as an incredible piece of sci-fi, but of like as American literature, and you have all these incredible sci-fi auteurs, and you think about Star Wars or whatever, that openly say that Dune was the source material, and then lastly, I'll just say like I've worked on things that aren't based on source material, and I've worked on things that are, and I just got to say it helps so much when there's like a literary background, and that goes for the acting of it, but I think it also goes for like audiences or people that are aware of the stories, and like I just hold the book and I'm like,
are you just reading and rereading?
Yeah, and it's just so
again?
like, and it's so dense.
Yeah,
and I just that makes me not worried about like the big budget nature of it all. Like it's just there's so much there, and like the themes are so
it's epic in every possible way.
I'm like, I'm so excited.
I can't wait. Congratulations on all the success. Much more to come. Beautiful Boy is an amazing piece of work.
Thank you.
Not surprising.
Thanks, Josh.
Wait,
this is the way we end these, right?
Yeah. You want an awkward high five or something? How do you want to do?
No. What did we do with Army? No, we did the faces.
Oh, we're gonna do Happy Second Fuse.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
after the cameras.
Okay, that's after.
That's
Okay,
coming
okay.
soon, guys.
Okay.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Well, yes.
And an awkward ending.
Okay. All right. Nice.